Now, before you begin to relax, I'd like to just say a little bit about the effects of perfectionism. It's great to have high standards for yourself and for others, up to a point. But perfectionism is ultimately a losing strategy. The truth is that you can still have huge drive, determination and ambition without tyrannizing yourself, and possibly others, with the absolutist demands of perfectionism. If you have perfectionistic expectations of yourself, you'll constantly feel dissatisfied and a failure, even when others think that you did a great job. If you have perfectionistic expectations of others, you'll turn into a control freak and constantly feel let down by and disappointed in them. No wonder that perfectionism as a personality trait is a big predictor of clinical depression. The approach to life that says, if it's not absolutely perfect, then it's a disaster, is also known as black and white or all or nothing thinking. The trouble with this is that life is composed of shades of grey. If you expect perfection all the time, then you will always be disappointed and your self-esteem will suffer. All or nothing thinking also makes you more emotional, because it's how the emotional fight or flight part of your brain works. Of course, there are some things in life that are simply black or white, but most things are not. The trick is to know when to be all or nothing and when to relax and see the shades of grey so you can give appropriate credit to yourself and others. Perfectionists use a lot of energy worrying and fretting about stuff that should have been done. They also tend to see other people as a means to an end rather than people in their own right, which can make perfectionists seem rather inhuman. So paradoxically, you can be more successful when you cease to be a perfectionist and settle for being a highly successful person who knows how to enjoy accomplishments and achievements and is able to respect those of others. Until this happens, life will be much tougher than it needs to be. When you relax and fret less, you give your creative problem-solving mind a real chance to find solutions and become more effective. All of nature instinctively does what it needs to flourish and survive. Gathering nuts for the winter, flying south, nesting, hunting, and so on. You have the edge on other creatures because you are conscious of what you can do and be capable of. To be really effective, however, you need to be a rounded individual and sometimes make allowances for yourself and for others. So what I'd like you to do now is allow your eyes to gently close, and you can rest for a while. And you really don't have anything to do for the next 15 or 20 minutes, apart from listen to me, or just allow your mind to drift away if that's easier. And at the moment you can just allow each breath in and out to begin to help you relax. And very often people, when they first go into hypnosis and first begin to relax, feel less than relaxed and begin to worry a little about whether they're doing things right. But the thing you need to understand is there's no right way to do this, and there's no wrong way. You can just sit there and comfortably wait as relaxation just gently creeps up on you. That's it. And I don't know when you'll notice first that you're beginning to relax now. That's it. A gentle, perhaps unnoticeable relaxation beginning to move through your body, allowing you to take a relaxing break from the events of the day. Any less relaxing thoughts beginning to gently drift from your mind, leaving the space to be filled with comforting relaxation and calmness. And as that continues, Perhaps noticing how those arms feel a little different to how they did 30 seconds ago. Maybe a little heavier, maybe a little lighter. Your shoulders sinking gently into comfort, restfulness, and relaxation. Your stomach enjoying the increased comfort and the improved digestive processes that come when you relax. That relaxation sending its warmth to every part of that body, right to the tips of the fingers, to the very ends of the toes, feeling so comfortable in the knowledge that you don't have to do anything as your body begins to relax. And in your mind's eye, you can quite deliberately use your imagination to get a sense now of a beautiful path stretching out before you, and the anticipation of a wonderfully relaxing journey along this path. And in your mind, just imagining what it would be like to walk along there with the feeling of the ground beneath your feet. Whether it's gravel crunching or the springy softness of long grass, or the gentle yielding nature of sand. That's it. Focusing your mind on the feeling of the air around you as it touches your skin, caressing you with comfort and calm, becoming more aware of the beautiful perfume in the air around you, maybe the intoxicating scent of beautiful flowers, or the smell of freshly cut grass. That's it. The warmth of sunshine or the coolness of shade. Noticing the sounds that surround you. Leaves rustling, leaving a sound gently drifting in the warm air. Sound of birds on high, or the splashing of a stream as you journey onwards. And you can take a few moments now to become really aware of how beautiful and perfect your surroundings are. That's it. And you can appreciate for a moment how delightful it is to relax and be truly comfortable in this perfect setting. Now, as you continue along this path, you can begin to get some kind of intuitive sense that just around a corner up ahead, somewhere you can't see yet, lies a place even more beautiful and perfect than the place you're currently in. As you walk towards that bend in the path, you can notice the anticipation of seeing such a perfect place begins to build. That's it. More and more curious curious and interested to know what such a place looks like. And as you approach that and reach that corner, new sights and surroundings coming into a view, just taking a deep breath as you notice all the things in such a perfect place. And as you look at that, you can take some time to really enjoy this place, noticing the differences from the previous place and realizing why it is even more perfect. That's it. And as you do that, you can come to the understanding that everyone has their own ideas on perfection. That's it. Thinking back to that first place you visited and how perfect it appeared at that time, and how it appears less perfect in comparison to this place. Understanding that if you'd not turned the corner on the path, you would have been happy to spend this relaxing time in that first place, enjoying those surroundings, without needing to look for anything better. And as you enjoy what surrounds you now, you can just give some thought to how nature's creatures do just what they need to do to thrive. The sight of squirrels scampering, gathering nuts for the winter. Flocks of birds as they pass overhead, flying south. Animals nesting or hunting, and you can do so much more than that. You can be so much more effective as a fully rounded individual when you completely understand the realities of human nature and are able to make allowances for yourself and for others. And as you enjoy relaxing even further, you can think back on a time when you felt immense pleasure in something. That could be anything. An achievement, the early morning sun streaming through a window, a child's smile, or just relaxing somewhere, on a holiday perhaps. But I'd like you to really focus on that time now and the feelings that you experienced in that time. Just how it feels to feel really good. That's it. And just getting a real sense of those feelings increasing. That's it. And as that continues to happen, after the count of 3, you can allow the thumb and forefinger on one of those hands to touch. On the count of 1 and 2 and 3, those fingers touching together. That's it. That's good. And as that happens, just allowing those feelings of pleasure to intensify. That feeling of calm, relaxation and pleasure Really enjoying that time again now. And then again on the count of 3. Just allowing that thumb and forefinger to drift apart. Allowing you to relax further in that special place on the count of 1 and 2 and 3. That's good. And again, allowing yourself to really relax with your surroundings. Enjoying just rolling that time over in your mind. How it felt then to feel that good. Noticing where you are, who you're with, and how that feeling of pleasure and happiness can intensify. And then after the count of 1 and 2 and 3, just allowing that thumb and forefinger to come together again now. That's good. And you can really focus powerfully on that time. Those feelings building even more, filling your body with a comforting calmness, a happiness, contentment, pleasure. And as that happens, you can bring that finger and thumb together again now. That's it. Noticing those feelings increasing even more as you do so. That's good. And you're building up an interesting association that's going to be extremely useful later on. And then the count of 3 and the count of 1 and 2 and 3, just allowing that thumb and forefinger to gently drift apart again. That's it. And then once again, within your mind, in that pleasurable time, enjoying yourself back then, that's it. And how just thinking about it now, almost as if it's happening again now, can fill you with such immense happiness and pleasure. That's it. Relaxing in that pleasure so comfortably. And then bringing that thumb and forefinger together on the count of 1 and 2 and 3. Just really experiencing those feelings of pleasure intensifying and building to a crescendo of happiness. That's it. How wonderful those feelings can be. Reaching every part of you, surrounding you in pleasurable warmth, such contentment and calmness. You can press that thumb and finger together, that's it. Until on the count of 1 and 2 and 3, you can just allow those thumb and forefinger to drift apart. And you can rest there in your special place. And as you do so, I'd just like you to think about the idea of success. Of course, success is such a relative term. There can be many, many successes within a project, contributing to an overall success or a partial success. And as you consider that, I'd like you to get a sense of times in your life when you may have applied perfectionist tendencies. You can just think now about when and where they were. Who else may have been involved? What was said? What was done during those times? That's it. You can think about those times now, and how they could have been done differently by allowing yourself to experience lots of mini successes on the way. And as you do that, just allow your thumb and forefinger to gently come together, allowing you to feel deep pleasure and happiness whilst looking at those times and how they could have been done differently. That's good. And now what I'd like you to do is just get a sense of drifting into your future, perhaps days or weeks ahead. I'd just like you to notice, really notice, how much more relaxed and effective you've become. Notice how you can extract emotional satisfaction from small gains, from small things. That's it. And when you imagine yourself in that future, just notice the differences in you. What is it about yourself that lets you know that something's changed? That you're more flexible when it comes to assessing things? That you're more capable of seeing the small successes in the bigger picture? Noticing perhaps people talking about you or complimenting you on how you've become so much more relaxed and happy seeming. Genuinely more effective, perhaps more humane. Just watch and listen to those complimentary conversations. And after the count of 3, just allow that thumb and forefinger to drift apart. 1 and 2 and 3. Getting a sense of that total and complete relaxation. That's it. But even in deep, deep comfort, there's always a part of the body that's less relaxed than the rest. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the relaxation that you do have. That's it. I'm reminded of a story of a little girl who used to go and visit a grandmother who lived on a bay, and they would sit together on the veranda and look out over the bay at the beautiful waves and the islands beyond, and just notice the way the light glinted from the water and how beautiful it all is. And that little girl used to love going to see her grandmother. And then one day she went along and she was terribly upset because when she sat down on the veranda with her grandmother that day, right in the middle of the bay, with a big, ugly oil rig. She cried as she said to her grandmother, "But Granny, it's your view. It's ruined. It's so ugly and big." And her grandmother, having seen a little bit more life than she had, smiled gently at her and said, "Yes, darling, but look. Look at how the light comes off the water." That's it. And it's amazing that when you allow your mind to relax, just how astonishingly quickly it can adapt to new circumstances. Of course, a rigid tree will be broken eventually by the wind, but one which can bend can adapt to any kind of weather. And when you relax in the future, whenever you feel that old perfectionism creeping up on you, you'll notice just how you can focus on the way the light comes off the water. That's it. But we can be comfortable and relaxed enough just to allow a story like that to sink into the unconscious mind. And for now, you can just allow yourself to return to the here and now, slowly and gently, and in your own time. And you can have an interesting feeling deep down that your unconscious mind has instinctively learned from today. You can be fascinated to see when the results of that make themselves apparent to you for the first time. But for now, you can just become more aware of the room around you. Any sounds around, any sensations, more aware of the position of your body. Just gently coming back to the room, opening your eyes, feeling nice and refreshed and positive. Good.